Hello, fly tires. Today we're going to tie a bunny fly that's virtually foul-proof. I chose black just to show you the techniques that I use. Put a short shank hook in the vise, and to this I'm going to attach a very stiff piece of monofilament. This is 90 pound test mono, and I've melted a ball at the end of it. I'm going to measure this to the shank, and I'm going to flatten the section that's going to lay on top of the shank of the hook. I'm going to attach this with some firm wraps. By flattening it, it makes this job much easier. It won't roll on you, and it stays in the location that you selected. Once I'm happy that I have it snug enough, I'm going to reposition the hook in the vise so that I can wrap unimpeded with my bunny strip. So I take the Regal vise works great for this. I take it and put the eye of the hook in there with the point away from me, and then advance my thread back to the very end of the monofilament, and that ball will keep it from sliding off. Next, I take my zonker strip and separate the hair where I'm going to tie it in, and I measure this for length, usually from that ball to the point of the hook. I'm going to tie right in that notch that I created, and I'm going to snugly wrap this in. And I just slid it back to meet the ball, my first wrap, and now I'm really snugly wrapping these in. Give it a tug, make sure it's not going anywhere. If you want, you can apply a very small bead of super glue. I usually put the super glue on my thread and continue wrapping so I don't get any on the hide. Now I'm going to advance my thread up the mono and up to the eye and leave it there. That's where my strip will eventually end up. When you're selecting your strips to do this, look for real good zonker strips that have a thin hide and the hair is all flowing in one direction. It just makes it much easier. Now I'm going to preen it a little bit, get all the fibers facing in one direction. Make sure I'm not going to tie down any hair. And I'll take a little bit of crazy glue. I'll only put the crazy glue on in short sections because it dries fairly quickly. I'll put a little glob of it on there. And now I'm going to hold my tail firmly, bring the hide over, and these are butting up against each other, they are not overlapping. And then we'll just continue this up eventually to the eye of the hook. When you get to where the bend is, you're going to snug one right between the bend and the mono, this wrap right here, so that there are no gaps when you bring it over. If you want to stop here, you can. I'm going to attach the ice fishing depth finder weight onto the hide, and this gives you a chance to see how things are going. And if you wanted to add flash here, you could. You could add, if you were using a different color, you could add another color. You just bring your thread back to that point and tie something in. You just have to remember that your hook is sideways in the vise, so when you tie things on, you're not tying on the top. You're tying on the top, but the top is facing away from you, or toward you, I'm sorry. So now this is the one wrap, that tucks it right underneath. And now I'm going to put my half pliers on just so that makes life easy. Continue to stroke these back out of the way. It's pretty repetitive at this point. But I do tie these in a bunch of different colors, and I will show you some of those when I'm done with this. In the background, you can hear the smoke clouds outside my house. It's snowing, and I'm tying flies with a warm drink, and I'm very happy right now. So there you have what we created. A nice bunny fly, and when after I'm done with the head of this, I'll show you why the tail won't reach, well, it might reach the bend, but it will not stay wrapped around that bend. Oh my, it would if you tied the strip right on at the bend of the hook. And plus, this gives you a bigger body section for the patterns that require that. And because the monofilament is sort of flexible, the fish doesn't have as much leverage trying to get that hook removed from its mouth. And that big old striper would have no problem swallowing this anyway. You could fish this with confidence at night, throwing this into a heavy wind, whatever, that this will cast and swim like a basic. There you have it. Plenty of wiggle room in the tail. You can see where the bend is way up here, and if it reaches it, it would just come along. It would not stay there. So I've tied these in a bunch of different colors, and I'm going to show you one I've added. Once I get done, I add eye. So here's one with grizzly zonker strip with some silver crystal flash in it, with a nice doll's eye. I attached them with goop, tail wiggles. You could fish these for largemouth bass also. Put a nice weed guard on that short shank hook, a mono weed guard, and you could throw this into the heaviest cover. Here's a yellow chartreuse with a ostrich roll over the top. You can mix and match. Here's your basic olive with some crystal flash in it with a olive ostrich roll over the white. Body section gives a nice silhouette there. Wide profile. Here's your basic blue over white. Put some blue flash in it as I was going along. And here's your olive again, olive marabou this time instead of olive ostrich roll. Basically, you're getting the same look as a double bunny fly without the two hides. And here's one that I'm going to try as a fall fly with a little bit of purple and then a little bit of black ostrich roll over the top. That hide was a little bit thicker. You can see I don't really like that tail. It will wiggle freely. Here we go with a smaller one. This is on a glow bug hook, the Gamakatsu C14S. Nice little fly, deadly on albacore. That hook will hold them. Don't be afraid to tie these in white and chartreuse. Hope you liked it. I enjoyed showing it.